Hey everybody, sorry I didn't get to this news yesterday. I was really busy, but GTA 6 did reveal a lot of new stuff about their characters, and we obviously know now that it was delayed to May of next year, 2026. So, if you're watching this in the future, this is going to be kind of a breakdown of some of the news we knew about at the time, because there was a massive drop of news. I mean, you probably saw the trailer just because it has millions of views at this point for GTA 6. The second trailer was dropped just the other day, but also there was something like 70 screenshots and breakdowns for a lot of the different characters and areas. So we're going to be going over a few of those today, but I will be linking the rest of it in the description, trying to get through it quickly so we might not cover every tiny little thing. And of course, as well as the king of mispronouncing names. I don't do it on purpose, I promise, but I will accept my crown begrudgingly. I'm sure I will mispronounce some of the names here, so I apologize for that. But I do have a question of the day for you as we get into this, which is, what is one thing or feature you want to see in GTA 6? I mean, hey, it was delayed a year. Maybe they'll watch the video, implement something. I doubt it, but who knows? Let's hop into it. Now, here's the thing. There is a full-on, I would say, interactive website page right now over on Rockstar's website where you can actually look at all of this yourself too, with breakdowns, some little animations, fun stuff like that. I might show a little bit of that here. And again, like I said, the second trailer. But a lot of this new information is stuff that some people suspected generically, because we already knew this was kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde type story, but they actually got into characters like Jason, who's one of the main playable characters, saying that Jason wants an easy life, but things just keep getting harder. He grew up around grifters and crooks, and after a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens, he found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best, working for local drug runners. It might be time to try something new. Meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out right now, but it's hard to tell. And then Lucia is one that they've focused on a lot, who, I'm going to be honest, I'm excited for a few big reasons. She's certainly, she's a dime piece, but she is the other playable character, and her breakdown is Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk. Life has been coming at her swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. Lucia's learned her lesson, only smart moves from here. More than anything, Lucia wants the good life her mom has dreamed of since their days in Liberty City, but instead of half-baked fantasies, Lucia is prepared to take matters into her own hands. Fresh out of prison and ready to change the odds in her favor, Lucia is committed to her plan no matter what it takes. A life with Jason could be her way out. Now, I've got a couple things to say here really quick that are just kind of breakdowns. First off, both of these characters, I would argue, remind me a little bit of like Michael Townley or Michael DeSanta. Now, in different ways. I mean, Franklin, you could say the same thing from GTA 5. Trevor wasn't necessarily looking for a way out, but these are both characters that are using criminal activity to try to get a better life, you know? And it's kind of like what Michael said in the opening cutscene of GTA 5. It's like, these are the opportunities that I had. That's kind of what these characters seem like to me, is almost reluctant criminals. Obviously, when we get to it, we will see, but they don't really seem like murdering psychopaths from this trailer. They seem a little bit more like anti-heroes, or, you know, like people who do something bad, not necessarily go around wantonly murdering people. I suppose you could do that if you're controlling them, but they're people who do something bad to hopefully eventually get a better life for themselves. So it's going to be kind of an interesting story from that standpoint, but we did get a lot of other looks at different characters as well, supporting characters like Booby Ike, Draquan Priest, The Real Dimes, Raul Batista, Brian Heater, and some looks at different places. Now, I will cover a couple of these characters really quick and some of the places, but I did want to throw in here really quick that I am actually playing through GTA Online right now on a lot of its story with my friends over on Degenerate Plays. That's my other channel, which is our podcast style Let's Play channel. So if you want to watch that, I'm going to put the link in the description and pinned comment. But something I find interesting with GTA 4, 5, Online, and this is that referencing things like Liberty City and, you know, Lucia's mother wanting to give her a better life since they were from there, and kind of harkening back to some of these character types. This to me really does feel like a trilogy. You know, we know that in the franchise there are multiple continuities essentially, but in general GTA 4, 5, and 6 are kind of their continuity. You know, what's interesting about it is that it does seem like they're trying to capture the aspects of what makes Florida crazy in a lot of ways. I mean, Florida Man being a huge meme, while also tying in some of these character archetypes to characters that you'd meet in GTA 4, 5, and GTA Online. So I'm interested to see some of these characters. Like, some of them we get into are ones like Cal Hampton, who he kind of seems like the guy in the chair. Basically, he feels safest hanging out at home. He's actually a friend of Jason, and he is sort of this paranoia type character, a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I guess a little bit like Ron Jakowski from GTA 5 and Online, but he seems a little better adjusted. Other characters like Booby Ike, he is a Vice City legend, and he actually essentially was able to get into a legitimate empire of business. Like, he owns a strip club, a recording studio, and all these different things. And he seems like he's out for himself, but he has a partnership with music mogul Draquan that he's actually interested in and trying to kind of raise this character up. And actually, you know, the idea of like characters trying to leave crime for a better life, it's always been an idea in these games. I think it was really pushed in GTA 5, but in general, that seems to be a big recurring theme with a lot of characters in GTA 6. Like Draquan Priest, he just basically wants to be a music legend. You know, Booby Ike, he wanted to leave crime and kind of go into a more legitimate side of business. Raul Batista, he is confident, he's charming, he's a seasoned bank robber, always on the hunt for talent, ready to take risks that bring biggest rewards, and he is considered a professional. But one character I think is interesting is Brian. Now, he is essentially a classic drug runner from the golden age of smuggling in the Keys. He's still moving product through his boatyard. He's on his third wife. But that said, he's been basically taking Jason under his wing and letting him live rent-free at one of his properties as long as he helps with local shakedowns. And he stops by and hangs out, essentially. So I think this is interesting because they got into a ton of different locations, which I'm going to try to hit really quickly here. Vice City in general. It's not the 80s, but it is still the sun and fun capital of America. There's glamour, hustle, and greed of America captured in one city, and they did describe it as each neighborhood having something different to offer, from the pastel Art Deco hotels and bright white sands of Ocean Beach to the bustling, I'm gonna butcher this word, I'm sorry, my Latin followers, panaderias. I just did what Nate called me out for. Whenever a white person needs to pronounce a word that's Spanish, we immediately enter like a Spanish accent. Panaderias, tell me what that is in the comments down below if you want to. Of Little Cuba and the bootleg brands of the flea market. So basically there's a lot of stuff going on here, and there's different areas, like we got Leonida Keys, Grass Rivers, Port Gellhorn or Gellhorn, Ambrosia, Mount Calaga, I'm sure I said that wrong too, but a lot of different areas that are going to offer something different in terms of aesthetic and in the city. So Leonida Keys is sort of more like a paradise, dress code's casual, the bars are loaded. There's a lot of different breakdowns of these areas if you want to look them up. But in a way, they also remind me again of GTA 5, but more in like archetypes or themes. Like Grass Rivers, it's the wetlands. If you think a show like Swamp People, that's what this area looked like to me. But that said, it also seems like it attracts the kind of people that you would have seen in Sandy Shores from GTA 5. More like the hillbilly type, you know, out in the country, living off the grid type people. But what's interesting about that is that with this, obviously, again, you can play into the stereotypes and jokes around the Florida Man goes crazy memes, which we did see them kind of doing in trailer 1 and 2, and kind of, you know, making a joke out of that. Now, that said, there are other areas broken down. One I find interesting was Port Gellhorn, which was basically cheap motels and shut down attractions and empty strip malls. This one I'm interested to see what's going to happen with, because it does sound like a lot of this area is abandoned, so I'm hoping there are interactables here. And in general, I will say before we close out the video, that's probably one of the biggest things I'm worried about with GTA 6, is just the game looks unreal. Like, it looks almost like real life. It is actually crazy how well they did with the graphics. And Rockstar, they don't really let you down with single player, I don't think, when it comes to their base launches. But I do think it's worth noting that in GTA 5, Leslie Benzie, who was really, really important as a producer at Rockstar back in 2014, he kind of had this falling out, allegedly, with the Rockstar employees and ended up leaving the company, and other people ended up leaving the company. And this was supposedly one of the reasons why GTA 5 never got single-player expansions that were planned, right? Like, essentially, they had to bring new people in, bring them, get them up to speed, get them used to working on the engine, and meanwhile, the GTA Online team was still doing their thing. And so, obviously, GTA Online was making money at the time, and by the time everyone was up to speed, it was years out from GTA 5. I'm not making excuses for them, by the way. This does piss me off. And a lot of that GTA 5 single-player DLC content that was going to be added in, which we do know existed, was scrapped or reworked or moved around for GTA Online, or just pulled altogether, which sucks. So I will say I'm a little worried about things like that. I'm a little worried about how much of the staff is still left at Rockstar. I'm a little worried about some of the comments they made earlier on about their humor. Like, I know they wanted to dial back their humor, like they basically said certain things were off the table, like, well, we won't make fun of trans people anymore and stuff like that, which I'm not saying like, hey, go make fun of trans people. I'm just saying that, like, when you're taking your humor from previous games, which was kind of targeting everything from right-wing extremist conspiracy theorists to like the most hardcore left socialists to every walk of life under the sun, right? Making fun of religions, all kinds of stuff, kind of South Park style. And you start imposing limits on it publicly, I do kind of worry a little bit about things like that, missing staff, stuff like that. And I do worry that as good as this world is at launch, that they will again just focus on an online component after launch. They did do it with GTA 5, they did do it with Red Dead Redemption 2, and then they dumped Red Dead Online and went back to GTA Online. So now I'm kind of just, I'm hoping that's not the case. That would be my one big concern along with that staff and the humor thing. Now that said, to me this is looking great. This was a ton of news that they did drop. I tried to get through it as quickly as I could, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, you want to leave a like, subscribe, I appreciate that very much. Playing through GTA Online over on my other channel, Degenerate Plays. Links are in the description and pinned comment. And I did finally want to say, we also have our own store, CosmoBunny.shop, where you can support this channel, along with channel memberships and Patreon. But that is actually our store where we sell coasters, keychains, trays, and more. These are all handmade out of resin from basically comic books, manga, and magazines that are recycled, that were damaged or ruined. And what we do is we take the surviving paper from these absolutely mishandled pieces of art, we transform it, turn it into something new for your home, and then we recycle the rest. So I hope you'll check that out. We are currently having a sale, which is ending very soon, which the keyword is sale, S-A-L-E, for the promo code. And if you use the link in the description or pinned comment, at least during the time that sale is going, it will automatically apply the discount code to you. But that only goes for a couple more days, I believe. So, interested to see you there. Have a fantastic day, and as always, everyone, stay shway.